Miriam and Daniel had been married for 7 years. 2 children, a small rented house, and a dream to give their kids the life they never had. But lately, life had grown heavy. Bills piled up, their car loan was overdue, and the shop where Miriam worked was planning layoffs. They argued often about school fees, about money, about the future. One night, after another long argument, Miriam sat outside alone, tears in her eyes. That's when her old friend Clara stopped by. Clara said, "You've been carrying too much, my friend. There's a man of God I've heard about, Pastor Ezra. People say he performs miracles. Maybe he can help you." Miriam sighed softly. "I don't even know where to start anymore, Clara. Maybe God has forgotten me." Clara smiled softly. "No, he hasn't. You just need the right messenger." When Miriam stepped into the sanctuary, it felt different, holy yet heavy. Pastor Ezra sat on a golden chair at the altar, surrounded by flowers and followers. His eyes were calm, his voice smooth, the kind that wrapped around your heart. Pastor Ezra said, "You came burdened, my daughter, but tonight God will set you free." He prayed for her. She wept. For the first time in months, she felt peace. Before she left, he whispered, "Your job, it's a chain. Leave it. Serve God fully. He will provide for you." Miriam hesitated, but his words sounded divine, so she quit her job the next day. At first, Daniel was shocked. "You did what? Quit your job without telling me?" Miriam replied softly, "The pastor said God has a better plan. We must show faith." Weeks turned into months. Pastor Ezra grew closer to her, always calling her my faithful one. He told her that Daniel didn't understand the calling, that her family was blocking her spiritual elevation. Soon, Miriam began skipping meals for prayers, stopped attending family events, and spent most days at the church, fasting, cleaning, serving. When Daniel tried to talk to her, she said, "You wouldn't understand. You're too attached to worldly things." One Sunday, Pastor Ezra preached about the seed of sacrifice. He said, "If you want God to open your doors, give him your Isaac." That evening, he called Miriam aside. "You have land, don't you? The Lord says you must sow it. If you do, your family will rise." Trembling, Miriam agreed. She sold the only piece of land her late father left her and transferred the money to the church. When Daniel found out, he nearly broke down. "Miriam, you sold our land? Miriam, how could you?" Miriam replied, "It's not ours anymore, it's God's." That night, Daniel packed a small bag and took the children to his mother's house. Miriam stayed behind, fasting day and night under Pastor Ezra's command. Her body weakened, but she believed it was the flesh dying. When she fainted during a church service, the assistants carried her to the pastor's office. She whispered weakly, "Pastor, I feel like I'm dying." He smiled coldly. "Then die in faith. If you die fasting, you'll wake in heaven." Clara, her friend, had grown suspicious. She noticed how many women had sown their savings and lands to the pastor. One evening, she followed one of the assistants and overheard Pastor Ezra laughing. "These ones are too easy. Cry a few prayers, promise heaven, and they give you their world." She recorded everything on her phone. The video spread like wildfire online. By morning, police stormed the compound, but Pastor Ezra had vanished. Weeks later, Miriam woke up in a small clinic. Daniel sat beside her, holding her hand, tears in his eyes. Daniel said, "You almost left us, Miriam, but God gave you another chance." She wept, not out of pain, but realization. Everything she had given up, her job, her land, her peace, she had given to a man, not to God. Months later, Miriam stood outside a small church in her village. No gold chairs, no crowds, just faith. She whispered to a young woman entering the service, "Pray, but use your mind too. Not every pastor speaks for God." Faith without wisdom is like fire without control. It burns what it was meant to warm. There are true pastors, servants of light. But if a man asks you to destroy your home to find heaven, he's already shown you where hell begins.